Amen? Who's hurting today? Who's in this place hurting? Who's got a broken heart, amen? Who's hungry, amen? Who don't know how they're going to pay their light bill, amen? Sing off these things. What problems we going to solve today, amen? Let your mindset be on those things that are spiritual, amen? But starting this year, seeking spiritual things. Amen? Do you have a prayer partner? Amen? How many souls are you going to win? Have you purposed to win this year for Yeshua? Amen? And as you go out through the day, seek out the presence of the saints. Stay away from people who don't want nothing, who ain't going nowhere, who are always talking negative. I always talk about sex. I always talk about drugs. I always talk about getting high. I always gossiping, amen? People who are lazy and don't work, amen? Stay away from children who get bad grades, who cuss, amen? Or who are perverted, amen? Stay away from children who write nasty letters, who wear nasty clothes and do nasty things, amen? Young men, stay away from girls, amen, who talk nasty, amen, to you. Amen? You ain't missing nothing. Unwrap that present on your wedding night, amen. Save it for later, amen. You can wait. You ain't missing out on nothing but an STD. You ain't missing out on nothing but an unborn child born out of wedlock. Mother, school these children here, amen. It ain't what they think it is, amen. Turn with me to Revelation chapter 22. I'm reading out of Aramaic. And let's read verses 8 through 14. And moreover, I, Yochanan, the hearer and the seer of these things, and when I heard and saw, I fell down to worship at the feet of the messengers who showed me these things. And he said to me, see that you do not do this. I am your fellow servant, and of your brothers, the prophets, and of them that observe the words of this book. Worship Elohim. Not like that. John got a revelation. The angel was taking around heaven, showing the visions, and he tried to fall down and worship the messengers. In the King James it says angels, but I like the word messengers better. Because they're here to deliver a message and assist us, and they're going to go so far. Amen? But he says, get up, Yochanan. Don't worship me. He said, worship Elohim, and that's the word I'm giving. Worship Elohim. Don't worship these rappers on the videos. Worship Elohim, amen? I don't care if there are gospel rappers and singers. Worship Elohim, amen? Royal sons, remember who your God is. Worship him, amen? And don't let people worship you and lift you up, amen? Wives, don't worship your husband. Worship Elohim. Children, don't worship your fathers. Worship Elohim, amen? Don't worship that job you just got. I don't care if you pay $100,000 a year. Worship Elohim. Preachers, don't worship the church and the ministry. Worship Elohim, amen? See, we worship the wrong things. For Yahweh is a spirit. And those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. And by the way, you've got to have the spirit to worship, and you've got to have the truth. And Yeshua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father but by me. He is the truth, amen? And that's the only truth that I know that sets you free. And who the Son of Man sets free is free indeed. And people are bound to that because they don't hear the truth. How can you go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, and still be bound up, amen, in sin, amen? Because you don't hear the truth and you don't have the Spirit. Amen? But make it in purpose in your life. This year, I'm not going to be bound. This is my last year being bound. Somebody give Yahweh some praise, amen? Give them some hand. This is last year, I'm operating in poverty, amen? This is last year, I'm going to participate in this relationship that's ungodly, amen? This is it. This is last year, I'm listening to the devil. Verse 10 says, and he said to me, do not seal up the words of this prophecy of this book, for the time is near. He that does evil, let him still do evil. He that is filthy, let him still be filthy. He that is righteous, let him practice righteousness. He that is sanctified, let him be sanctified. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to recompense everyone according to his work. Notice when he comes back, his reward is going to be with him. And many of you really shouldn't be surprised what you're going to get. Amen. Don't be surprised what you get. You already know what you're going to get. But if he, think about it, if he come back and you doing some of that stuff you ain't supposed to be doing, you already know what you're going to get. Amen. So it'll behoove you. And I plead to you by the Spirit of His grace and His mercy to turn for you burn. Amen. It goes on. 13 says, I am Olive and the top, the first and last, the beginning and completion. Blessed are they who do His Master Yahweh's mitzvah, for they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. Amen. Now notice it said mitzvah. And one reason why we are Aramaic, because it reads different from the traditional King James. Amen. The King James isn't all bad. Amen. But certain words, you know, in Hebrew and Aramaic, amen, certain words take on different meanings. Amen. And the word mitzvah is command. Amen. But in the King James, it would indicate that it's talking about Yeshua's commands. This is not talking about Yeshua's commands. This is talking about Yahweh's commands. Mainly those commands in Exodus chapter 20. Amen. About worshiping false gods. Amen. You know, go read them tonight. Exodus chapter 20. Blessed are those who keep Yahweh's commands or mitzvah, for they shall have the right to the tree of life. Don't you want to one day eat of the tree of life? Don't you want to walk with Yeshua? Don't you want to see the angels, the golden streets, the pearly gates? Don't you want to go there? Who wants to be down here? I don't want to be down here in this wicked, cruel place, amen? I want to see Yeshua, amen? And that means I have to keep His commands to see Him, amen? If you want to see Him, you got to keep them. But these are Yahweh's commandments, amen? Not Yeshua's, amen? And I want to enter through those gates, amen? How do you know that Yeshua is the gates? Amen. It said, blessed are those who do Yahweh's mitzvahs. Amen. Turn with me to Revelation 19, and let's read verses 10. Let's read verse 17 first. Then read verse 10, and we'll close. In Aramaic it reads, and I saw a messenger standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowl that fly in the midst of heaven, come you and assemble to this great supper. Amen. That's not what I want. I'm sorry. Revelation 12. Amen. Revelation 12. Got my 12s and 19s mixed up. 12:17 says, and the dragon was enraged against the woman. The woman's the church, y'all. And he went to make war upon the remnant of her seed, who kept the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yeshua. Amen. So what we see is now we see the commandments or the mitzvahs of Yeshua. So Yeshua has commandments and Yahweh has commandments. Amen. And the commandments of Yahweh is the Torah. And we need to receive the Torah into our hearts. Amen. And the commandments or the mitzvahs of Yeshua is the gospel. And we need to receive the gospel in our hearts. Amen. And how many know that Yeshua is both? He's the fulfillment of the Torah. He's the fulfillment of the gospel. Amen. Everybody came to Him was a thief and a lie. So if you got Yeshua, amen, you're in good shape. And have the testimony, I like that, and have the testimony of Yeshua. What is the testimony of Yeshua? We'll turn to Revelation chapter 19, and we'll find out, and we'll close. (19:10) reads, and I fell at His feet to worship Him. And He said to me, see that you do not do this. I am your fellow servant, and those your brothers who hold the testimony of Yeshua. Worship Elohim. Again, worship Elohim. Now, why do we want to do that twice? Amen. The reason why we want to do it twice, because people want to worship everything but God. Amen. For the testimony of Yeshua is the spirit of prophecy. Amen. You know, we're living in some prophetic times. We live in a prophetic hour, amen. It would behoove us to make sure that we read the prophetic scriptures every time. Every time you read a portion of any of these books, from Genesis to Revelation, you are prophesying. Amen. For words are spirit. And as you speak the word of Yahweh and Yeshua, who is Elohim in the flesh, that word manifests. Amen. So, you know, I thank God for Yeshua's death, his burial and resurrection. I thank God for you being here tonight. And Sha'ula Shalom Jerusalem. That's my time. And now we'll have make time for question and answers. Who has a question? Who's our first question? You got a burning? You're like you. Just have a question. What's your question? Huh? Nothing. What about you, Heather? You have a question? You have one. Go ahead.
That message was for me. And I know why I came here tonight. It's clear. It's clear. Although I am a child of God and I know better, the message was clear for the church and what we're supposed to do as far as marriage.
Amen.
Instead of doing, the fornication and adultery. I was talking to somebody just the other day. They had to go through child support for one child, which is going to bring in the other kids, which was born out of wedlock. And I said that's why God told us not to have kids out of wedlock. Now you got to go to child support. You got to do this. You got to do that. And if you don't do certain things, you can't even get support for your kids.
Amen.
So you just reflected how important it is that we stay true to God and worship Him, and He'll take care of us.
Amen.
So I don't really have a question because you were so clear with it.
Amen. I'll add to this. Once we meet the conditions Yahweh has set forth in His commandments, His Son's blood covers us. Amen. See, when we teshuva, when we repent, or when we return back His way, that blood covers us. Amen. I don't care who was born out of wedlock. That child is sanctified and covered with the blood. And the Father sees the Son. He said, when I see the blood, I'll pass over you. This is what our Pesach was all about, amen. Well, I'm just excited, amen, this year, amen. What do you want, young man? Amen. He lost his thought. Any other questions before we close it down? Amen. Well, I encourage you young women to seek counsel with these women who are more seasoned. And you younger men, if you have any questions, seek the older men who are more seasoned. Thank you. That's my time. Shabbat Shalom.